Hello my dear friends. Today we are going to discuss about the basic concepts of coordinate geometry. Now notice that this pair of axes is dividing the plane into 4 parts. So these 4 parts are known as the quadrant. Quadrant means 1/4. So these quadrants are named in a particular way. This is your first quadrant, then comes second quadrant, then third quadrant, and then fourth quadrant. That is in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay? Now, these set of axes and the origin and these 4 quadrants together constitute the coordinate plane, which is also known as Cartesian plane in order of Descartes. Now, you may ask that why should we learn coordinate geometry? Because coordinate geometry is the mathematical tool to solve geometrical problems algebraically. Sounds interesting, right? Now, it has wide range of applications other than in mathematics itself. For example, in digital world, describing the position of a place, location of air transport in aviation industry, then map projection, longitude, latitude, all are applications of coordinate geometry. Now, to fix the position of a point on the coordinate plane, what we will do is we will take the distance of the point from the y-axis first and then the distance of the point from the x-axis. Suppose the distance of a point from the y-axis be 4 units and the distance from the x-axis be 3 units. Then we will get a point, say P, whose coordinates are 4, 3. Here 4 is known as the x-coordinate or the abscissa and 3 is known as the ordinate or the y-coordinate. Note that the point 4, 3 is different from the point 3, 4 because for 3, 4 the distance of the point from the y-axis is 3 and from x-axis is 4. So you will get a different point. So you have to remember that the order in the coordinates of a point is very, very important. Okay, now you may ask that why we call the distance from the y-axis as x-coordinate. It is because that we are measuring it along the x-axis. This distance we are measuring along the x-axis. That is why it is known as x-coordinate. Okay, next let us discuss the sign convention of the 4 quadrants. For that, let us consider a point, say 2, 5. So for this point, the distance from the y-axis is 2 units and distance from the x-axis is 5 units. So we have to take the distance along OX and as well as along OY. So we will reach to the point 2, 5. So from this we can conclude that all the points in the first quadrant will have the abscissa as well as the ordinate as positive. Next we will come to the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, any point will have x coordinate negative because we have to measure along OX dashed and y coordinate positive because we have to measure along OY. So any point in the second quadrant will have abscissa negative and ordinate positive. Come to the third quadrant. Here we are measuring the x coordinate as well as y coordinate negative direction because we have to measure x coordinate along OX dashed as well as y coordinate along OY dashed. So any point in the third quadrant will be having x and y coordinate both negative. Then last is our fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, we are measuring the x coordinate along OX, which is positive, and y coordinate along OY dashed, which is negative. So any point in the fourth quadrant will have the abscissa positive but the ordinate negative. So now I hope you understood the sign convention very clearly. So if I ask you where the point -2, -3 will lie, you will jump and answer that it will lie in the third quadrant. Now if I ask you where the point -4, 2 will lie, you will answer in the second quadrant.